Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and this is number 30 video in Veeam Advanced Training. And today in this video I'm going to show you Veeam recovery media creation and how we can do the bare metal recovery by using Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows and Veeam backup and replication server for backup repository. So this Veeam recovery media, you can see this is the home page of Veeam recovery media. So Veeam recovery media we can create by using the Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows, and we can create the Veeam recovery media, and we can use this media to boot the servers or virtual machines or physical server or workstation, anything, and then we can run the bare metal recovery for this. And also we provide some type of advanced and customization during this bare metal recovery and using this Veeam recovery media. So we are going to do this one by one, and we'll see how we can do the create the Veeam recovery media. And so here's the Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows, what we can do by using Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows. So you can see this side we have a workstation, and this side we have servers. And Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows can be installed on workstation like Windows 10, Windows 8, or Opera server operating system also. So Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows support workstation, client and operating system, and server application systems, operating system both. So you can see by using this Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows, we can take the backup of our server on a hard drive, which is external hard drive or internal hard drive. We can also take the backup on network share folders, which is might be your file server or any server where you can store your backups. And then we have option to keep the Veeam backup and replication, keep the backup on repository for Veeam backup and replication, or Cloud Connect repository for Veeam backup and replication. So, and also you can do the recovery from, like, if you have taken the backup of this server on a hard drive, you can recover that on a share folder. You can also recover, and if you have backup stored in backup Veeam backup and replication repository, you can also recover those backup by using this uh, Veeam recovery media. So I'm going to give you the demo of recovering this. We are going to set up the backup for these our file server, and then we are going to recover that server by using the Veeam recovery media. So let's start, and here is my demo environment which we are going to use in this demo. So you can see the first machine is Win2K12 DC01, which is my Active Directory and DNS server. So if I go here, you can see Active Directory and DNS server is running on this machine, and if I click local server, you can see this is Win2K12 DC01, and my domain name is victorinfosol.com. So this is basically a domain controller, and the second server is the Veeam server itself. So Win2K12-Veeam, and this having Veeam backup and replication server install, and this is also my backup repository server. So Win2K12-Veeam. So I'm going to open the Veeam backup and application console here. So this is Veeam backup and application console, and the last machine which we have is Win2K12-FS01, which is my file server basically. So this is, you can see, Win2K12-FS01, and this is joining my domain. And if I go to computers, you can see few shares on this machine. So because this is my file server, so you can see we have some shares, and if I go and browse the shares Win2K12-FS01, you can see we have a multiple share, 5 shares total, and these all are coming from my physical drive, which is D drive. You can see here all are coming from D drive. So this is my file server, and now I'm going to install on this server Microsoft agent, Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows, and then we are going to take the backup. So I have this Microsoft agent in my download folder, So if I go to download, you can see Veeam agent for Windows. I'm going to install this agent. So you can see with this Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows, we can easily back up your machine on external hard drive, NAS shares, or a Veeam backup repository. So I'm going to take this backup of this server on Veeam backup repository. So let's install this first. So this installation is very lightweight. It's going to take only few seconds to get the Veeam backup Veeam agent for Microsoft installed on your machine. And then it's also going to register few services post installation. So it's installing the required component now. And now if you go to program and features, you will be able to see what it's going to install. So you can see it's going to install Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows very soon. We started the installation for starting the services for this Veeam agent, and you can see Windows agent is installed now, Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows. So it's going to take few more seconds to get this started, all the services, and then we can start configuring this agent. So now we can skip this, I will configure later, and then we have, you can see installation is completed, and run the Veeam recovery media creation wizard. So I'm going to run this, and I'm going to type ISO image. I'm going to click next, and this is giving warning like to enable Wi-Fi support for appliance, we need to enable the wireless LAN services. So as this is a server, wireless LAN services is by default not enabled. So if you need, you can go ahead and enable it, but you are not going to get this message in client operating system. So I'm going to save in my desktop and click next and click on create. So now it's going to create mount the recovery media environment image, and then it's going to modify it and going to make all the changes which is required, and then it's going to create the recovery media for us. So this process is going to take some time, around 2 or 3 minutes, so we need to wait for it. So you can see now copying Veeam recovery environment is done. Adding .NET framework is also completed. Now it's adding the system drivers to this image which we are creating right now. Now it's unmounting recovery image, and after this it's going to work on creation of recovery media. So now you can see we have a recovery media has been created, and this is the recovery media, and size of this media is around going to have a 450 MB. So this is good. Now we can go ahead and click on finish. So we can use this recovery media to recover machine. So before doing this, we need to have a backup. So I'm going to run Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows, and going to run the few recovery. So here you can see I want to operate in free mode, no problem. So configure backup, and then I'm going to take the entire computer which is recommended, and the destination I'm going to set to my Veeam backup repository. So click next, and now I'm going to put my Veeam server name here, win2k12-Veeam, and click next. Now it's going to detect the available remote repositories. So this is our default backup repository, so I'm going to take the backup here and click next. I'm going to click leave it default, and I'm going to enable the application awaiting processing. So it's depend on your requirement. If your machine having some application running which is a required application awaiting backup, so you can enable it, and also file system indexing. So click next, and I'm going to run this on, like, for example, 8 p.m. 8:30 p.m. every day. So click on apply, and now this is going to create backup job by this information which we have just entered here, and when I click run this job when finished, so now you can see the backup job is in progress. And also we can go to Veeam backup and replication console, and we can see the backup job is created here, and we can see the type of Windows agent backup and object one. For this is running for one server, and then we have a target and description, and you can see here it's running, the job is currently running. So it's going to take some time to complete this backup, so I'm going to run this full backup once, and going to run few incrementals backup. And once we have a good state of backup, we are going to um, use this recovery media for bare metal recovery. So I'm going to pause the recording for now. So now we have one full backup and 3 incremental backup for this server. And if I go to Veeam backup and server, you can see we have one backup object, and if I click on here, you can see last all the backup is succeeded, job is completed. And if I go here, you can see from agent we have 4 restore point, creation and location, everything. And now what I'm going to do, for example, I'm going to delete this drive, I'm going to format this partition. So there was no D drive, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to recover this server by using this Veeam creation recovery media creation. So I have already this recovery media copied in my physical computer, and I'm going to mount this. So I'm in my CD drive, and then I'm going to browse in my folder where I have this media. So here in Veeam, and then this is the recovery media I'm going to mount here. So now you can see this is going to come as a Z drive in this machine. So Veeam RE recovery. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to restart this server and going to run a recovery from Veeam recovery media agent. So I'm going to press F2 from BIOS. I'm going to make my CD drive primary boot device. Then I'm going to save and exit from BIOS, and this time I'm going to boot from my recovery media. Now you can see it's booting. So it's initiating the recovery environment. So now we have all type of tools here where we can go to use tools: command prompt, memory, diagnostic, startup, repair, export log, all these things. And if I go to here, we have also option to run Windows recovery environment. So, and this is what we have, bare metal recovery. If I click here, it's going to ask volume level restore. So where we want to restore, so I'm going to click here on network storage, because our storage is stored in Veeam backup repository. So I'm going to select this, and also you can go and see the Ethernet properties, and you can configure the IP address. So here you can see what we have configured here. So if you need, you can go here and configure the IP addresses on these network adapter. So this is how it is. So I'm going to click finish, and then I'm going to select this backup repository, and then I'm going to type the path of my name of my Veeam server name, and then the user ID to authenticate it, to connect the repository. So click next. Now you can see it's connecting, and now it's find the details about the job. So we have a 4 register point for this server, so this is good. And now if I click next, I have all the points here. You can see one full and 2 incremental. So if I click next, You can see what you can restore: entire computer system volumes or whatever you want to restore. Also we have view automatic undetected drives, so we have all these drives what we have, so this is good. And if you want, you can manually remove or change these things. So I'm going to select here entire computer recovery, and then this is the information what we are going to restore and drive. So I'm going to click on restore. Now it's going to give us progress report how the data restore is running. So the restore is going to take few minutes. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pause the recording, and once the restore is completed, I'm going to resume from there, and we'll see how we can check for the things. So you can see the restore for system recovery completed. Now it's restoring the this C drive. And also if you want to check the traffic here, you can go to our Veeam server and you can see how much data is going to send and receive. So it's sending all the backup over the this Ethernet, so you can monitor the traffic also. So I'm going to pause the recording here. Once this restore is completed, I'm going to resume from there. So now I'm going to, here you can see restore progress finished. So I'm going to click on finish and reboot this machine. And again I'm going to open the BIOS and going to change the boot device. So here I'm going to change hard drive as a primary boot device and F10 to save and exit. And now its machine is going to boot from its operating system, which is Win 2K12. And also if you need, we can go and unmount this recovery media from this server. So now you can see the machine is on, and now we can go ahead and log into this machine, and we'll verify the files has been restored and drive has been restored or not. So you can see this file is restored. Also if I go in D drive, you can see all the folders is there, and we have shares are accessible. So this is how we can actually recover the machines on same physical or virtual machine. But what else if we have uh, the hard drive or machine uh, damage, and we need to restore that machine back up to any brand new machine. So in this case I'm going to create a new machine and give you the example. So I'm going to create a new virtual machine, and then we are going to restore this file server completed layer. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to create 2012 machine and going to type new underscore win 2k12 fs01. I'm going to create 160 gig drive, and then I'm going to click on finish. And then you can see I have not added this data drive right now, so I'm going to add later on. So I'm going to assign the correct RAM and all this in this machine. So I'm going to give 8 gig RAM this time, and going to add some processors. I'm going to mount my this installation recovery media here. So Veeam, and I have recovery media here, and I'm going to set the correct network, and going to remove this USB drive and printers. So this is good. So now I'm going to power on this machine, and you can see it's booted from the recovery media which we have mounted in CD drive. So let's wait for options, and then we can proceed for recovery for this. Basically the first time we are going to restore the operating system drive. So this is how recovery environment is initializing. So now I'm going to click on bare metal recovery, and then we have a network storage. So Veeam backup repository, where we have a backup, and you can see the network configurations also. which is configured in this bootable recovery media. So click next. Now I'm going to type my Veeam server name, so Veeam, my domain name and user credentials. So it's going to connect to Veeam backup server now. So now we have backup, 4 recovery points, and click next. And now we can select the recovery points and what it includes: server, volume included, and disk, what all the operating system details and machine details. I'm going to select the latest one and click on next, and then we have options. So I'm going to restore only system volume this time, so you can see what it's going to do. It's going to recover the system volume in this disk 0, which is 60 gigs. So this is good, and now I'm going to click on next and restore. So this is going to restore our operating system in this 60 gig drive which we have added now. So you can see here. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add one more drive here which is for data. So we can add the disk now. So I'm going to add 501 gig disk. I'm going to click on finish, and then going to click on OK. So now we have two drive, one 60 gig and one 501 gig, same as the old server which we have in 60 and 501 gig. So now once this restore is done, we are able to log into the operating system, and we will verify the operating system configuration and everything, and then we will restore the D drive data also. So you can do both the on the same time, but I just want to give you the example for both. So we have restored this machine entire computer which we have restored from bare metal, and now I'm restoring the operating system volume first, and then we'll add the recover the D drive. So I'm going to pause the recording here. Once the recovery is completed, I'm going to resume from there. So now you can see the restore is completed, and we can click on finish, and now machine is going to reboot. So on this reboot, I'm going to change the bootable media. So I'm going to move the hard drive as a primary, then going to save this settings, and also we can go and unmount this recovery media from the server because we don't want operating system has been recovered. So this is good. We can click on OK. So now you can see it's booting for it's loading the operating system, and this is after recovery. It's going to take some time to get the machine up because it's going to check for the latest uh, drivers compatibility and everything to make sure the drive is restored correctly, and the OS is restored with the drivers. So this is good, and now we can see we have this hard drive was blank, and now it's recovered the operating system. So we are good, and now we can go and see the it's only having C drive, and if I go to D drive, here you can see if I go to disk management, you can see we have a drive mapped disk 01 but having no volume or no information. So what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to run this tool and volume restore. Then what I'm going to restore, I'm going to restore D drive, this time from inside the operating system. So this all we have. So I'm going to get this latest restore point, and then going to drive map, and this is the F drive D drive which we are going to restore, and this is the volume where we are going to restore. So it's going to automatically map the drive layout. So click next, and I'm going to click on restore, and now it's going to restore our drive and D drive. So you can see D drive is visible now, and it's also going to create partition as before automatically. So you can see the drive partition is also created, but it's currently showing raw. So now it's going to take some time. So you can see the restore is finished, and now if I click here and if I refresh this, can see the partition is changed to NTFS, and we have all data back here. And if I go and verify the shares, here is all my shares, which is coming from my D drive basically. So, and finally I'm going to reboot this machine. I'm going to log in and verify everything is running fine on this machine. So this is how we can use the Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows for Veeam recovery media creation and bare metal recovery from on the same machine on a brand new machines with the same configurations. So this is all about it. So let's log in and verify the server again. So I'm going to hit Ctrl+Del and then log in. And now we can see everything is looking good. So this is how we can do the bare metal recovery by using Veeam backup and replication media. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos. And if you have any query, any question related to this video, you can always post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again.